Good morning, children. Today in English, in class 11, we continue the chapter Birth. Dr. Andrew and Joe Morgan had reached 12 Blaina Terrace, the place where Susan Morgan and Joe Morgan lived. That was their house, their residence. And Susan Morgan was in the family way. She was expecting her first child, and that is the reason why the doctor had been called. So the doctor arrived and he went to see the patient. Inside, a narrow stair led up to a small bedroom. So he walked the stairs, and in the small bedroom, which was clean but poorly furnished, which meant that they were not very well off. Furnished means furniture and the fittings. So from the very look of it, from the appearance, one could make out that they were not too well off. And lit only by an oil lamp. And there was an oil lamp that was lit. Here, Mrs. Morgan's mother. That was Susan Morgan's mother. A tall grey-haired woman of nearly 70. That means Susan Morgan's mother was present over there. She's a tall, grey-haired woman who was nearly 70 years old. And another lady that was a stout elderly midwife. Stout means she has a strong build. And midwife is, one can say, a nurse who is trained to help in childbirth. Waited beside the patient that was Susan Morgan, watching Andrew's expression as he moved about the room. So the two ladies were there. Susan Morgan was there, of course, and Mrs. Morgan's mother, that is the elderly lady, and the midwife were there. "Let me make you a cup of tea, doctor," said the former quickly after a few moments. That is, that she offered to make a cup of tea. It was midnight, around midnight, and she probably felt that the doctor could relax by having a cup of tea. So she offered to make a cup of tea for him. Andrew smiled faintly. He smiled faintly. He could understand her apprehension and her concern about Susan Morgan, her daughter. So she did not want the doctor to leave and come back later. So that is the reason why she offered to make him a cup of tea, which he had realized and understood. He saw that the old woman, that is Susan Morgan's mother, wise in experience, she's lived her age, she's 70 years old and she's a wise person, realized that there must be a period of waiting, that she was afraid he would leave the case, saying he would return later. The reason was that Susan Morgan's mother was an elderly lady and she was also concerned about her daughter, Susan Morgan, and she actually wanted the doctor to stay on. She did not want the doctor to leave and come back later on. But at the same time, she did offer to make him a cup of tea so that he would stay. "Don't fret, mother, I'll not run away." So he assured the mother. Naturally, she was concerned about Susan. So she was told by the doctor that not to worry unnecessarily, and I will not run away. That means I am not leaving. I'll stay here till the infant is born. Down in the kitchen, he drank the tea which she gave him. So she had offered and she prepared the cup of tea and she offered it to him. And he enjoyed it. Overwrought as he was. Overwrought means very tired, very exhausted. So he knew he could not snatch even an hour's sleep if he went home. No doubt he was exhausted, but at the same time, if he went home, he knew that he would not be able to relax or he would not be able to sleep at all. So that is the reason why he decided against going home and decided to stay here only. So he felt that it was wiser for him to stay on here only because he would not be able to relax there at his own place. He knew too that the case here would demand all his attention, that he did not want any complication because all along he had assured Joe Morgan and Susan Morgan that everything would be fine for them and they'd have a healthy infant. So a queer lethargy Queer means strange. Lethargy means, you can say, lack of enthusiasm, came upon him. He decided to remain until everything was over, until Susan had had the child. An hour later, he went upstairs again. So, time and again, he would go to see and examine Susan Morgan. Noted the progress made, came down once more and sat by the kitchen fire. So, he kept a check on Susan Morgan from time to time and then came back and sat near the fire. It was still. Obviously, it is late at night. It is past midnight now. It was still absolutely calm and peaceful, except for the rustle of a cinder in the grate. That is, naturally it is night time, everybody would be at home. The ordinary noise and all that one can hear during the daytime was not to be heard. Only the fireplace, the fire that was burning in the fireplace, the rustle means the soft crackling sound of a cinder, which you can say the fire that was burning in the fireplace. So the crackling sound that could be heard and in the fireplace, and the slow tick tock of the wall clock. Otherwise it was absolutely quiet and very still, no noise and all outside. Only these few sounds that could be heard was in the fireplace, the fire that was burning, the sound of the crackling sound that could be heard of the fire. So that is what he could hear, and otherwise the wall clock, the tick tock, the movement of the hands of the clock, those could be heard. No, there was another sound. Now he realized that besides these two, there was one more sound that he could hear, and that was the beat of Morgan's footsteps. That is, Joe Morgan was walking on the street outside, and he was so his footsteps could be heard outside. The old woman opposite him sat in her black dress. She was dressed in her black clothes, quite motionless without any movement, still, her eyes strangely alive and wise. Naturally, as a mother, she would be worried about her daughter and probing, never leaving his face. So constantly she was looking at him. She didn't utter a word, but she was looking at him, and also to find out that everything was going on all right so far. His thoughts were heavily muddled. Now, since he had to wait over there, also the fact that he had an unpleasant evening with Christine, the girl whom he loves, so he was very upset about it. Muddled means he was in a state of confusion. He was confused. The episode he had witnessed at Cardiff Station still obsessed him morbidly. Obsessed means to continuously to think about someone. He was thinking about Christine, and so he was so obsessed by all that, and he was not happy at all. Morbidly otherwise would mean related to disease or death. So he was very upset, he was very disturbed, he was very distressed. He thought of Bramwell, so he thought about other people. It is not only he himself that he had differences with Christine, the girl whom he loves. There are many other people also who've had such kind of problems. He thought of Bramwell, foolishly devoted to a woman who deceived him sordidly. That means Mr. Bramwell, he was very devoted to a woman who deceived him, cheated him, and so he is thinking of other people who've also had unhappy times, that they've also had difficulty. So he is not the only one who is experiencing it. So that is, further he says of Edward Page, bound to the shrewish Lodwin, of Denny living unhappily apart from his wife. So these were the other people who had some problem or the other. Either the husband had betrayed or the wife had betrayed. So he thought of other people also who had unhappy and difficult times. It was a conclusion which in his present state made him wince. Wince is when you flinch, a sudden, which is unintentional, when you are in pain. So, idyllic state means very, you can say, happy. So, he feels that all these people came to his mind and the difficulties that they face. So, he felt that he is not the only one. That marriage one generally considers that you are happily married and you are always going to be leading a very happy life and a very peaceful life. Yes, he could not otherwise consider it with the image of Christine before him. But when he thought of Christine, the girl with whom he had an unpleasant evening and differences in argument, it would not be possible. Her eyes shining towards him admitted no other conclusion. It was the conflict between his level and doubting mind and his overflowing heart which left him resentful and confused. So he was he was in an absolute confused state. He did not really know what to know and what to understand, his heart and his mind. He let his chin sink upon his chest, stretched out his legs, stared broodingly into the fire. So he tried to relax for a while and stretched out over there and looked at the fire. He remained like this so long. So for quite some time he remained like this only, and his thoughts were so filled with Christine. Continuously he was thinking about her only and the unpleasant evening. Suddenly, when the old woman opposite suddenly addressed him, and suddenly the old woman, that was Susan's mother, called him, addressed him, called him. Her meditation had pursued a different course. Dr. Andrew was contemplating and thinking about the unpleasant evening that he had had with Christine, and the mother was all the time concerned about her daughter, Susan Morgan. Thank you.